Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the USBC Women's Championships. We've got a great show for you today, a double header even on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, so stay tuned. In just a few minutes, we'll take a look at USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandelin and Dana Miller-Mackey, and past Senior Queens champion Paula Vidad as well. So it's going to be action-packed. A lot of great names on this pair of lanes. Stay tuned. Practice right now. We'll be with you in just a few minutes. All right, folks, practice winding down here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Got an exciting team event coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us today. That's the 2-minute warning. Will be underway shortly. Going to be a great one. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the USBC Women's Championships coming up.
Ladies, practice has expired. Please hold up on your practice. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that flash photography is not permitted during competition, so please no flash bubble. Brunswick, we are ready to begin. Ladies, at the sound of the bell, you may begin your competition.
And there you have it, 10 minutes of practice already complete. It's game time. Aaron Smith, how about a rundown of today's lineups?
Certainly, Matt. We've got two very talented groups out here today, Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy. Once again, only down to 2 cameras today, so we'll be going back and forth between the scoreboards, but starting on the left lane for Team EFX is USBC Hall of Famer Dana Miller-Mackey. She's going to be followed by Janelle Jelzy, Aaron Lenahan, Paula Vidad, and Christina Kinney. And up on lane 28 right now is Carol Jones leading off for World Cup Bowling Academy. She's going to be followed by Zan Halag, Laura Hardiman, Jennifer Asplin, and USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandelin. So got an exciting group to kick off today. As you mentioned, back-to-back live streams coming to you live from the 2013 Women's Championships. We'll see a 3-time winner in 2012 come up after this, Lindsay Boomershine, as well as Alicia Current, her doubles partner for 2 of those titles. So we're going to have a nice long day here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center, Matt.
It's going to be a fun one. It's nice to get over here across town every once in a while. We spend many hours at the National Bowling Stadium for the USBC Open Championships. And good to come over here and give the ladies some attention as well. 81 days of competition happening over here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center, just 3.5 to 4 miles away from the NBS. A lot of bowling excitement in Reno this year, and certainly today is going to be a whole bunch of it. As you mentioned, Lindsay Boomershine coming up next. She took home the Scratch and Diamond doubles titles last year, as well as the Scratch All Events. But today we're going to see the timeless and classic styles of Paula Vidad, Lucy Sandelin, and Dana Miller-Mackey. I know in my last long days of coverage at the Women's Championships back in 2011 when Aaron Smith was on sabbatical, got to see this team take the lead for a very brief time, actually just a few hours. But certainly they have the ability. And then, of course, Paula Vidad went on to win the USBC Senior Queens. So a lot of talent, as we talked about. We're going to see some strikes today for sure. We've already seen a few. Now let's get a look at Paula Vidad coming up next on lane 27. And Jennifer Asplund on lane 28. Both have their names in the record books already. We said Paula, the USBC Senior Queens champion. And Jennifer last year rolled a 299 game at the National Bowling Stadium.
Starts off with a 210 in her 2013 event. Yeah, Jennifer actually shot her 299 during team event last year. Once again at the NBS. That was actually the weekend I was in Baton Rouge bowling the Open, so I didn't get to see it in person, but got to hear all about it. Not sure what game it was upon recollection, but when she was all said and done that weekend, she was leading the scratch all events portion with 21-21, as well as scratch doubles with Zan Halog at 1361. The scratch all events score ended up 7th last year. Of course, Lindsay Boomershine ended up grabbing the scratch all events title with 22-26, and their doubles score ended up 10th. Once again, Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Kurt grabbed that title with 1480. So, and on top of that, we'll go even further into it, Matt. Christina Kinney and Erin Lenahan held the doubles lead as well for a little bit. Unfortunately for them, it was only a squad or two, but they posted, I have it here somewhere, 1403. They grabbed the lead for a little bit there, got to talk to them. In that set, Erin actually went 297, and in Syracuse she shot a 300. She nearly became the first woman in tournament history to record multiple 300s on the championship lane. So,
well, we've only had 19 in 94 years of women's championships competition, and Erin on that list, of course, almost twice. It's pretty phenomenal. It had to be a pretty exciting day, no doubt.
Certainly was. That was early in the morning. Remember that? And then later on, some folks will be coming in a little bit later this week. Megan Kelly and Shannon Pluhowski ended up taking the lead later that day. Megan also had 299 last year, and then Lindsay and Alicia ended up setting the bar and never being passed in the scratch portion with that 1480. So we'll see how the numbers stack up here. The scores these folks are looking at right now for the scratch portion on our last live stream here from the RSCC. Eagles Edge Pro Shop out of Prospect Heights, Illinois, 33-57, the second highest team score in women's championships history. And on the Diamond Division, which these ladies, both teams will be competing in, they're looking at 34-51 set by defending Diamond champions, Some Strike It Hot out of Albuquerque. So I'm sure they'll be tuning in. Dana's from Albuquerque as well, so I'm sure they'll be rooting her on, but
not too much.
Be intrigued to see where that final score ends up.
All right, Aaron, we're all caught up here on Facebook and Twitter, so if you're a bowling fan and ever curious about what's happening in the bowling world, check us out on Facebook all over the place. The Sport of Bowling USBC, that's the main page for the organization. That's a little bit of everything on there. And then if you're curious about the USBC Open and Women's Championships, there's a page dedicated to that as well. It's USBC Open/Women's Championships, and we get on there quite a bit to bring the latest news and some notes and facts. And of course, if you're just a fan of Matt Cannizzaro or Aaron Smith, Emil Williams Jr., you name it, the staff here in the Media Relations Department, you can find us at Matt Cannizzaro-USBC. That's some behind-the-scenes stuff about what it takes to survive 125 days of competition at the Open Championships, 81 days consecutively here at the Women's Championships. So
when you put it like that, Matt, shouldn't my name be on the page too?
It's on there somewhere. There's a picture of you on there as well.
There's too many pictures. That's the problem.
Well, if you don't take pictures, nobody will ever believe you're here. After you said you took 2011 off, and then when all this exciting stuff happened in 2012, you're globetrotting out and about. So here we are. This is our proof that you're here.
If you say so. Nice frame by World Cup Bowling Academy. All 5 members strike. Struck in frame number 2. So off to the races. I talked to Paula a little bit before they started. They've been at the Open competing over there for the past 2 days, so they feel pretty sharp. They feel pretty good to go here. It's just a matter of kind of getting acclimated to the one-of-a-kind venue here and getting comfortable. They know the Open pattern was a little more challenging, so they're ready to take advantage of what they see out there. And
well, Aaron, if anybody's curious about the lane condition that these ladies are bowling on today, you can go to bowl.com, find the Women's Championships page, and you can check out the lane conditions information box. It'll show you a graph of the pattern. 40 feet, I believe, is the number. And if you want to know any other facts and figures from this year's event, leaderboards, recent news, you can find all of that on the WC page on bowl.com. We'll have a recap of today's action later tonight as well, as Lindsey Boomerstein and Alicia Current put their doubles titles and all events title on the line. And then, if you're curious about what's happening at the Open Championships just down the road, well, we've had 2 300 games in the last 12 hours. We'll have that information up as well. The Open Championships has its own page. All kinds of goodies on there. So check it out. Come visit us on bowl.com.
Paula also said, I made that one word there. How about that? Paula also said they've been tuning into the few live streams we've already had here at the convention center. So they got a chance to see Joey Biondo and Eagles Edge Pro Shop put up that near record score, and hoping they can find similar success and get out of the gates strong here.
All right, so after frame 3 is over, we'll take a look at the scoreboard again, working with 2 cameras here today. To take our word for it, a lot of strikes on the board already for the World Cup Bowling Academy. No doubt these young ladies know how to get it done. Many titles over the years. Usually the easiest way to get into Hall of Fame is to win some stuff, and they've certainly done that. This is Aaron Smith's house, so to speak, so he's got all the news and stats over here on his side of the table. He's going to have all kinds of great tidbits for you for the rest of the afternoon. I'm just here to help facilitate things. Tough break there for Vidad, missing the 10 pin in the 3rd frame after starting with a double. Paula, a deviate staffer, so you see all the latest and greatest from deviate rolling down the lane. Aaron Lenahan as well.
Yeah, it looked like quite a bit of deviate equipment out there today, so if you're a fan of that Brunswick project over there, you're gonna enjoy this.
So, Aaron, just doing a quick look up on Laura Hardiman, who we talked about earlier. She just got done bowling on lane 28. But she's
pretty good in San Diego, isn't she?
No kidding. Looking it up. Women Bowler of the Year many, many times. So, again, there's no doubt that these two teams have assembled 10 very talented, qualified players.
Yeah, we already talked about a few of the accomplishments along, or at least last year. Several of these ladies made their way up the leaderboard at the Women's Championships. If only for a little bit, still you can't lead unless, or you can't win unless you lead at some point. So.
All right, well, here's a look at Lucy going for 3 in a row on the right lane. Lucy, a past Team USA member. All right, so it's 3 for her. Let's take a look at the scoreboard now. 3 frames in the books. You're watching Game 1 of the 11 a.m. team event here at the 2013 USBC Women's Championships. We're at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center behind lanes 27 and 28.
We just saw Lucy. Lucy's a 2-time titleist here at the Women's Championships, taking home the Classic Doubles title in 1991 and 1994 with USBC Hall of Famer Cindy Coburn-Carroll. Along with that, Lucy's also the 2007 Senior Queens champion, a 10-time member of Team USA, a 1996 U.S. National Amateur Champion, and was the first U.S. woman to win the AMF World Cup, according to her Hall of Fame profile on Bowl.com.
All right, Aaron, there's a question in the chat room about whether or not we're going to be live streaming Shannon Pluhowski and Megan Kelly. And that is not in the plans for the coming weeks, unfortunately. We did actually see them at the Open Championships not too long ago on our live stream broadcast. But if you'd like to check out the upcoming live stream schedule, you can go to bowl.com on the main page, and down on the right side of your screen, you'll see the live stream information box. Just click to expand that, and it'll give you everything from now through June. So just a quick rundown coming up. Of course, today's doubleheader. Right now you're watching USBC Senior Queens champions Paula Vidad and Lucy Sandelin here in the team event. Later this afternoon, we'll see defending champion Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Current. They took home the Scratch and Diamond doubles titles last year, as well as the Scratch All Events title. Making history. We'll have details on that later. And coming up this week, Aaron's Hero on a Wednesday afternoon. PBA 50 stars Kenny Parks and Bob Learn Jr. Aaron's got a big old grin on his face.
Oh, yes, sir.
Big fan of Kenny Parks. Kenny's a cool guy.
Certainly is.
Back when he won the Senior Masters a few years back, and then get to go on the Clash of Champions. A classy guy, Mr. Parks. Looking forward to that one. Then coming up on May 31st, the defending scratch team champion, Coefficient of Friction, right here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. And then we've got some excitement coming up in June. So check out that schedule. If you have any questions, certainly let us know. That's what we're here for.
Coefficient of Friction will feature 4 of the members from last year's championship team. Terry Steins, Jackie Wyckoff, Kimberly Power, and Brittany Hillman will be back. So and that's just around the corner.
Well, and if we don't have the answers, we'll just make them up. Might as well, right? Isn't that the way to do it?
Isn't that half our job?
And we got some jokesters in the chat room today as well, asking us to sneak a camera down on Lucas Wiseman tonight at 7 p.m. If Lucas does not beat my all-event score at the Open Championships, we already talked about this, I believe retirement is the only answer.
We have set the bar extremely low for him this year.
Well, we focused our attention on live streaming and bringing the news to the bowling world. A lot of excitement, a lot of great stories coming out of the Open Championships, and now things really rolling here at the Women's Championships, so we know where our strengths are, and unfortunately now it's not on the lanes anymore.
Unless you're reading and on the lanes. Currently have one of those up featuring a gentleman who just wrapped up at the Open Championships, Ronnie Horton. So if any of Horton Nation is tuning in, crack open a cold one for us.
There's a quick look at the scoreboard. Halfway through game number 1. Ronnie Horton, I believe, is on an airplane right now, headed back to Florida before he makes the long drive back to Virginia. There's a nice picture of Doug Becker snoozing on the airplane, already posted on Facebook. Social media has certainly changed the game, changed the world.
Could not agree more.
All right, so they're back to the action. So the early flurry of strikes here for World Cup Bowling Academy slowing down a little bit. Just 1 strike in the 4th, none so far in the 5th. The top of the leaderboard getting a new look this week for sure. A lot of great scores. We saw some good scores this morning. Michelle Carcagente Cruz, 709 in singles. Then she took a look at the leaderboards, and well, 709 is a good score. So she was pretty glad about that. She'll be at the Open Championships later tonight. That team included Josie and Jessica Ernest, Sarah Germano, Lindsay Koulis, so certainly a lot of talent in the area, and a lot of them taking advantage of both events being in the same host city in the same year for the very first time. Somebody asked if Lucy and Paula took advantage as well, and yes, they did. They bowled at the Open Championships. And Aaron mentioned that earlier as well. A little bit tougher condition. Made some great shots over there. Put up some fantastic numbers. That's what they do. But yeah, the opportunity to bowl both events in one trip. Certainly very attractive to these teams. Deandra Asbeatty, longtime Team USA member, defending Queens champion, was here as well. She put together an all-ladies team and went from one to the other in a couple of days. A lot of them already talking about next year. Registration for 2014 already open. And the USBC Queens returning to the host city next year. Great shot there by Lucy. It's next June. Late June, last week of June. June 27th, the USBC Queens will kick off. So a lot of these teams already planning to come out and bowl the Open Championships and the Women's Championships and the Queens all in one trip. So again, to do all that in one plane ticket.
Sounds like a long week at the Women's Championships for us.
Well, that's what we do. It's certainly all about the excitement. You just never know what kind of numbers you're going to see. Certainly you can attest to that from back in 2010. They kept you on your toes in the first year of the convention center setting, and a condition that was conducive to striking.
It certainly was. We saw 2 record scores. Jody Wessner, we'll be seeing about a month from today here on Bowl TV. Set the all events record, while Bowler's Choice Pro Shop, featuring Liz Johnson, set the team series record, which we almost saw broken on our last live stream here. Might have if it wasn't for a certain power outage, but still a fantastic performance. And yeah, 2010 was crazy. It was it's pretty exciting when every squad has the possibility to have some kind of record score put up. So yeah, makes for a long 3 or 4 days though.
Well, as you know, plenty of time to rest when it's all over in July. We're here to provide a service. A lot of folks have stopped by to let us know that they do tune in. They do read our stuff on bowl.com, so the word is out. We do appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we're halfway through game number 1 here on the 11 a.m. team event, 2013 USBC Women's Championships here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith spending this Saturday afternoon with you. Big doubleheader coming up, so don't go anywhere. Since we only have 2 cameras here, we'll be switching back and forth to the action and the scoreboard. But if you'd like to follow along frame by frame in a separate window, you can go to xbowling.com. Select the women's championships. I'm actually looking at it right now to make sure everything's working smoothly. Got it open right next to the YouTube window. And it will tell you can pick any lane in the house, any bowler. Find out what their score is frame by frame, even what they left. So check that out. Again, xbowling.com, and if you're curious about the Open Championships, you can check that out as well.
Nice shot on 28 by Aaron for her first double of game number 1 here. As Hardiman steps up on 27. Also looking for her first double.
And these teams always dress for success here at the Women's Championships as well. Today wearing their high 5 jerseys.
You beat me to saying it. I was just thinking the same thing.
So that's the one thing you'll always see here. I know we mention that every time, but the ladies at this event always take pride in their team appearance. Always looking for that pride award that we give out for teams dressed alike.
You think maybe next year we could get some jerseys for the media department and have, the suit and tie jersey?
I think that would be a certainly a good investment and very cool. Mike Fagan can do it with the Argyle sweater. Certainly we can add a tie in there, looking sharp.
Absolutely. We can take the tuxedo shirt to new heights.
Well, we always want to be on the cutting edge of the dress code, no doubt.
So then after we finish our shift, we'll be ready to bowl. No need to change before heading up to High Sierra anymore.
This year's women's championships kicked off on April 12th. We'll go all the way until July 1st. Some folks already on top of the leaderboard, a little bit nervous, waiting, counting the days. 81 consecutive days of competition here at the WC this year. Still a month to go. A lot of great bowlers headed our way for sure. And as we talked about the other day when we watched Eagles Edge Pro Shop take the lead in scratch team, they're excited about the possibility of going out on top this year because we're going to have a format change in 2014. And after 94 years of competition, the Women's Championships will go to 4-player teams. So to say that you were the last team to win when it was a 5-player event, well, you'll go down in history. But 4-player teams certainly well received so far. Makes it a lot easier for pairing up for doubles, for travel, rooming together. Some feedback that's been in the surveys for a few years now. City and state tournaments have already gone that route. So we're going to bring it to the Women's Championships as well, along with some new divisions and an all-scratch format. So we went to Handicap in 2010, brand new venue that year as well. And going to shake it up in 2014. 4-player teams, all scratch. And now we'll have 4 divisions in the team event and 6 for doubles, singles, and all events.
Should be an exciting new look at the Women's Championships. But we'll be at the same place, Reno-Sparks Convention Center, in this fantastic facility. We talk about it every time. Greg Moore is out there standing in front of us watching some bowling right now, but him and his crew, now he's looking at us. We'll wave at Greg. Greg Moore and his staff do a fantastic job on all these builds, from Baton Rouge last year to obviously here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Just so cool to see the transformation from a blank floor with a bunch of crates to a world-class bowling facility. And yeah, it's really, even if you're just in town stopping up to bowl the Open, you should come on down and check it out and just not only see some good action here at the ladies tournament, but just check out this venue. So many cool little things going on around here, and it's always fun to when we do get the chance to come over here and spend a little time.
All right, so we are in the 7th frame here of game number 1. It certainly flies once we get underway. Here's Paula Vidad stepping up on the left lane. She struck on this lane last time. She's working on a spare. And a washout for the 2011 Senior Queens champ.
On 28, we have Jennifer Asplin stepping up, looking for a 4-bagger. Once again, the numbers these ladies are shooting at for team event on the scratch side, 33.57. Set by Eagles Edge Pro Shop out of Prospect Heights, Illinois, and in the Diamond Division, which both of them fall into.
Some striking hot of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the defending champs, back on top with 34.51.
Impressive, Matt. I was trying to find the paper. You beat me to it.
Sometimes I do my homework a little bit.
But for anyone wondering at home, Team EFX coming in at an unofficial 1,096 in the Diamond Division. So based off that number, they'll receive 4 pins of handicap per game, so a total of 12. And World Cup Bowling Academy is coming in at 1080 unofficially. So they'll receive 20 pins of handicap per game. Once again, for the Diamond Division, teams are it's based off the composite average of the team, all 5 members. If your team average is above 900, you'll be placed into the Diamond Division with handicap based off 100% of 1,100. So that's how we got those numbers.
So Aaron, we already talked about these women coming to town bowling both events. And all the action happening downtown at the National Bowling Stadium. We're over here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center, just a few miles away, but a lot of these bowlers stay in the downtown area, taking shuttles back and forth. And in order to get set up, very simple, just visit mybowlingvacation.com. That is USBC's travel site. A lot of great deals on there for local hotels. And a great benefit for this year, if you book 3 room nights, which you almost kind of have to do in order to bowl both events in one trip, unless you plan on doing a lot of bowling in one day. But 3 room nights at mybowlingvacation.com will get you a free entry into the 900 Global 2-Game Challenge, which is taking place over at the brand new 900 Global Showcase lanes on the ground floor of the National Bowling Stadium. 10 lanes where there used to be a restaurant. Now it's the hustle and bustling with practice and 2 side events. So the 2-Game Challenge is exactly what it sounds like. A quick 2-game event, daily and year-long payouts. Your chance to go out there in one of the 3 average-based divisions and take home a little bit of prize money or get loosened up. And if you stay at one of the host hotels through mybowlingvacation.com, you get a free entry, $40 value into the 2-Game Challenge. If you got a couple friends with you, again, all ages and skill levels welcome. Different divisions for different averages. You can go to the Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza, presented by 900 Global. A 3-person event. Everybody bowls 3 frames, and then you get to select who bowls the 10th frame. Whoever's got the best look gets that opportunity to step up. That is a 5-game event for 3 players. $60 entry fee, so very reasonable. And again, different average-based divisions. Also a women's division. So if you got 3 women together, go out there, take a shot at that. A lot of excitement down there, and a free entry through mybowlingvacation.com.
They could probably put together some pretty solid teams here on 27-8 for the Who's Got the Look.
Well, they all seem to have the look. So what would you do at that point? Flip a coin, maybe.
Flip a coin, pick names out of a hat. You really can't lose with this group.
Well, I certainly would pick any of these 10 ladies to bowl the 10th frame on my team.
We're in 8th frame action here in game number 1. Laura Hardman stepping up on 27. Goes to the nose, leaves a 3-6.
Well, Aaron, I think we need to get Emil to come out and join us, and we'll go out there and bowl the Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza. And I actually thought about when the time comes for my own Open Championships team to kick me off, because that's coming, no doubt, after my last couple performances. We'll get the band back together. You and me and Emil We get Jason Penner and Dave Ellis to come back, and we'll have the all-media team. Not sure who's going to write the story at that point since we'll all be out there bowling, but there's a history.
There's no story there. That's just a good time.
That's all right. That's what this is about for a lot of teams, and I'll take the good time.
Only if Emil bowls lead off.
That's right, the human firework.
We had a long discussion about that in our last live stream. The importance of the leadoff position, the ability to get everybody lined up, be a consistent player, fill your frames, and set the pace. And on lane 28, leadoff bowler for World Cup Bowling Academy, getting ready to step up.
Here's a look
Carol
at the
Jones.
scoreboard. Yep, Carol Jones working on 3 spares. As Aspen delivers 5 in a row.
She's the only one who's really been able to string them together at this point. A few doubles, a few early 3-baggers, but a lot of spares in between there.
All right, just real quick about the 900 Global Showcase lanes again. You also have the opportunity to practice on the lane conditions you'll be facing at the Open and Women's Championships. Early in the morning, we have those lanes open for team practice sessions for $100. You and 9 of your friends can get out there and test your game plans and your equipment to get ready for either event. We have both patterns available. So once again, the 900 Global Showcase lanes available for practice for your teams. $100 would get you an hour on either lane condition. For $200, you can spend an hour with USBC Silver Coach Matt McNeil. He'll talk you through the game plan, what to do with your equipment and such. So you can find that on bowl.com/showcase lanes. More information. There's all kinds of goodies on bowl.com. So check that out. The Open and Women's Championships page. You can find information about the showcase lanes and the side events, as well as standings. Aaron, we have an inquisitive crew in the chat room today, asking all the right questions. And somebody just asked about what's going to happen to these lanes after the 2013 Women's Championships. Well, part of the fantastic opportunity we got in bringing both events to this host city in the same year was the exclusive use of the convention center here. And the time and money being saved, not having to tear the lanes out in between the two tournaments. However, there's nothing planned for the lanes while we're away, so we'll just turn the power off, cover things up, and step out for a few months, but everything will be in place when we arrive again next year. There was some discussion about what to do or what other events we could possibly have here, but with the awesome National Bowling Stadium just a few miles away, some events already scheduled for that venue. There's always something happening on the lanes in Reno. It's a very bowling-friendly town.
Very true. The stadium, some folks think it's kind of similar to when we're not in town, they're shut down, but no, that's certainly not the case. They have events small and big throughout the entire year, so they're always staying busy. Also have things like proms and business parties and stuff like that too. So stadium is certainly versatile in its in the bowling crowd it brings in. We're just about ready for some 10th frame action here, Maddie. A better way to kick it off than watching USBC Hall of Famer throw 10 back.
All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard here going into the 10th frame. Some big numbers these teams are shooting at. 34-51 on top in Diamond Team. 33-57, the second highest score ever, leading Scratch Team. So certainly a lot of work to do the rest of the way here. Game one just about done.
Well, our past few, or at least our past two live events here from the RSCC, we've seen really big scores out of the gates, then seem kind of not necessarily bad scores after that, but just not as strong scores, if you want to put it like that.
Looks like we're headed for the opposite today.
That could be the case. We're certainly going to put up a nice number here, but not going to be as big as the 12-7 we saw last week from Eagles Edge. So we'll see how it pans out. These ladies had a game plan coming in today, and we'll see what they do on this challenging oil pattern. Dana's in the books with 2:05 in game one number here. And looks like Carol's going to maybe make a ball change here, try something different on her fill. She's still got 197 out there.
Janelle Jelzy working on a four-bagger now. She's going to have a strong finish here in game number one. Erin Lenahan will follow her, working on a double heading into the 10th frame.
Great shot there by Janelle. I think that'll put her in the 230s. 194 finish for Carol Jones there as Zan Halog steps up on 27 for World Cup Bowling Academy.
And well, we'd like to thank Lucy Sandelin for dropping off some World Cup Bowling Academy towels to us.
Certainly.
To take out to our league play on Wednesday nights at nearby High Sierra. And I believe it was a hint as well that when we're done here, we need to take a trip to Florida spend some time at the World Cup Bowling Academy. Certainly couldn't hurt.
Definitely couldn't hurt. Tough break for the log there in the 10th. She was clean up to that point. Ran a little high. Left the 4:10 to finish up with 2:01.
Well, Aaron, anytime you're ready to go to Florida, you let me know. Always looking to party in the Sunshine State. Go see the little brother Casey down in Winter Haven, working at Cypress Lane. Stop by Kegel nearby.
Yeah, we got a lot of people we need to visit.
Potentially, we could be delivering a couple of Eagles to that area. Team USA member John Janowitz and former Team USA member Vernon Peterson right now on top in the team event at the Open Championships, part of the highest score ever, 35-38. So I would be more than happy to hand deliver those Eagles should it be necessary later this summer.
I'll come along just to party.
Then we can, of course, swing by the World Cup Bowling Academy, get some tips as well.
Stop by Kegel, see my good friend Gus over there. And then, hey, while we're in Florida, let's head over to St. Petersburg. We'll see Minnie Tavaska, go bowl a few games with her. She's always looking to bowl, 95.
95 years
Nothing
old,
can
Minnie
stop her.
Tavaska just celebrated 67 consecutive years here at the Women's Championships. As we said the other day, I couldn't even imagine doing anything 67 times, let alone 67 years in a row. So always an inspiration to see her come out and bowl. She made it through all 9 games, bowled 100 twice. Felt good about her performance. Already making reservations for next year for number 68.
But right now we're watching Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy finish up frame number 10 here. Aaron Lenahan on 28. Looking to match teammate Janelle Jelzy. 236 here on her fill ball. And she gets it.
Well, Aaron forgot to mention John Gaines, a 3-time titleist at the Open Championships, also in Florida, as well as Scotty Newell, PBA champion, part of that team. So we can certainly make the rounds. Hop in a rental car, make our way.
I'm in. That's the off season for me, right?
All right, we'll tell the boss we're ready to go to Florida should that score hold on. We're going to give out some hardware, get some bowling tips. And if these young ladies in front of us can strike as well, we can bring some hardware down to Lucy.
Right now, Jennifer Asplin showing that form that got her to the top of the scratch all events for a little bit last year, and her place in tournament history with that 299. She hasn't missed since the 3rd frame.
Right now, there are no scratch standings available on bowl.com. The new leaderboards, brand new, still being tweaked a little bit, but Aaron Smith has some super secret behind the scenes scratch information that he'll be sharing throughout the day. Of course, the scratch team lead, no question about that. No question about that shot either from Jennifer Asplin. But scratch lead in team, 33-57, second highest score ever.
Seeing that the highest score ever wasn't shot this year, that makes it pretty definite, doesn't it? Paula made a ball change there on the fill. Try something different. Finishes game 1 with 179. Both teams will be well over 1,000 here.
Aspen throwing some great shots here in game number 1. And she just piled on the strikes for 259.
She rebounded nicely after 210 in the first frame. Strike, spare, and then a lot of strikes.
Perhaps the excitement of being on the championship lane. She got a little fast on the first shot. Took her a minute to get settled in.
Well, she figured it out. The thing that we haven't is you can't strike in the first frame. It's
bad luck, it seems.
I doubled. You had a 3-bagger, I think, and
it was all downhill after that.
It was all downhill. Well downhill. So.
All right, so Lucy and Christina going to finish things off for these two teams. And we'll take a look at the scoreboard before we get into game number 2. If you'd like to see it frame by frame, you can certainly go to xbowling.com, select the women's championships, and you can find frame by frame action, find out what pins everybody left, all kinds of other scoreboards and leaderboards and different things, different exciting stats from the women's championships on xbowling.com. And you can sign up for the 90 frame X game, your chance at $50,000. All you have to do is strike in the right frames. Everybody throws strikes, and just do it at the right time, and there you go, fill in your pockets.
Kinney will finish with 203 as Team EFX closes out game 1 10:59. Not far behind, Lucy Sandelin, 210.
All right, there it is.
10:45 for World Cup Bowling Academy. So very similar performances out there. I'm sure both teams wish they had a few shots back there, but decent starts indeed.
Aaron, they're not going to waste any time. Carol Jones already stepping up on the left lane. Wants to get that 194 off the scoreboard. She started with 3 in a row and only had 1 strike the rest of the way. And Zan Halag started with 3 strikes as well. Did not strike again. So here we go, game 2 underway. Carol Jones. Dana Miller-Mackey, USBC Hall of Famer, is going to step up on the right. The lone left-hander on the pair.
It gets lonely on the left side, doesn't it, Matt?
It does sometimes, but the good news is when you're locked in, there's no one there to mess with it, and there's a fantastic shot from the Hall of Famer. She's thrown many big shots in her career. We've seen her make some serious runs deep into the Senior Queens the last couple of years as well.
My very first tournament, she ended up finishing second to we got the last name. We're looking up the first name.
So I believe Janine Primrose.
It's definitely Primrose. Was it Janine? Matt's feverishly going through the laptop.
Way to go, throwing out stats. Janine Primrose, 2009. Shar Hamill, 2010. Paula Vidad in 2011. Anne Marie Dugan in 2012. And Dana Miller-Mackey in the mix for many of those. I know she made a run in 2011. She was kind of sick. Didn't feel so good during match play. Lucy Sandelin won the Senior Queens in 2007.
Dana also has a title here at the Women's Championships. It took home the 1990 Classic Singles title. She also has 2 U.S. Women's Opens championships, 1983 and 1990. Along with a very nice career on the professional women's bowling circuit she was a long-time standout there as well. But now she's here live in the biggest little city in the world.
Appreciate everybody stopping by Bowl TV today. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. 2013 USBC Women's Championships, Game 2 of the 11 a.m. team event. Big doubleheader coming to you live from Reno today. After this team event, we'll have Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Curran put their scratch and diamond doubles titles on the line. Boomershine also the defending scratch all events champion. Some big numbers for them to shoot at. Looking forward to that. That'll be coming up next here on Bowl TV.
For those of you wondering, Lindsay started the Action Bowl team event yesterday. As is, well, I guess last year they did a little bit differently. They actually bowled all 9 games in the same day, and they started off with doubles and singles and then went to team. But they bowled team event yesterday. Lindsay posted 7:03. Alicia 691 in a 31:55 scratch effort for Storm Nation. With handicap, they ended up at 31:73, which it's not a bad start to their run here that they hope to make in the upcoming hours. Both Lindsay and Alicia have already bowled at the Open. Lindsay was quite a while ago. Alicia was in town a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. Bowling with our good friend Frankie May, also out of Pennsylvania, so one of the nicest guys in the business.
We're seeing Frankie May throw some strikes in our league on Wednesday. I believe he had 300 the first week, and then a couple of weeks later, 800.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch Frankie bowl. He's I enjoyed. They were bowling the late squad at the Open for doubles and singles, and it was getting right around 2 a.m. They were getting close to finishing, and just kind of watching Frankie throw his last few frames, and you can tell he loves this sport beyond words. It was just every good shot, still a little fist bump after it, and it was fun to watch. It was folks like that keep you going, keep you inspired to get better, because they know what it's all about.
Well, I kind of get that feeling when I would look at Facebook and read some of the things from Paula and Lucy especially. Always going somewhere, bowling somewhere. Paula, from what I see, is either at the gym or bowling in a tournament. And Lucy, a globetrotter. Actually, when we were in Costa Rica just visiting last fall, the day we left, Lucy checked into the hotel we had just left and was bowling a nice big event down there. So she certainly makes the rounds as far as competition, and no doubt we'll see the two of them at the Tournament of the Americas in August, representing the United States. So we'll see how that pans out for them as well. So always looking for something to bowl in. Jennifer Aspman continues to strike here. She finished last game with a handful, and now after 2:59 starts game 2 with a double. So really setting the pace here for these two teams. 10:45 for her World Cup Bowling Academy team. 10:59 for Team EFX. So still a lot of work to do, but the momentum in their favor.
It seems like Jennifer hasn't missed in like an hour, so that's a good problem to have.
see if Linehan can get back on track after an open in frame number 1. We've seen her throw a lot of strikes on these championship lanes. Had 300 in 2011 and 297 last year at the National Bowling Stadium. She liked that one for sure. All smiles. Aaron, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Women's Championships has overtaken Disney World as the happiest place on earth, because we see nothing but smiles here. Maybe they're all glad to be away from home, their husbands, hanging with the ladies.
It certainly could be any of those, but, and we've talked about this before, just the atmosphere, the camaraderie all these ladies share. A lot of teams enjoy actually scheduling with, if they bring more than one team, they'll actually ask not to bowl together, which is completely opposite of the Open, just so they can meet a new group of ladies. A lot of folks bring gifts from back home to exchange, and it's certainly something different. It's fun to go back and forth and just see the way some of the traditions work differently from one place to the other, even in the squad room. One of the fun things they do here is they announce all the states represented in the squad room, something the Open doesn't do. And it's just always fun hearing the ladies cheer, and so you get more and more teams. It gets louder and louder and crazier in there. And
well, we do have bowlers representing all 50 states and several foreign countries throughout the year. So really this and the Open Championships have gone global. Glad to have everybody with us.
So we live streamed a gentleman from England not too long ago, Mr. Don Barrett. It's a very talented group.
Right now we're in frame 3 of game number 2 here at the Women's Championships. Always an adventure.
Always indeed.
Team EFX is 3 for 3 here in the third.
Analog stepping up on 27. Stubborn 9-pin there. Unwilling to cooperate. Paula hasn't missed since she made this ball change on the fill ball. She's stepping up on 28 right now. Great shot, ring 10. No flat dime there. Did we ever make any progress on the flat 7, Matt?
We never did. I mean, you got your flat dime, that's an easy one. But I mean, we certainly leave our fair share of flat corner pins, but we never came up with anything clever. Maybe we're just not that clever after all.
I could have told you that a while ago. a second here on 27 after Laura tries to clean up this 10-pin. Jennifer Aspin will be going for the Vera Papa 300. That'd be a fun record to keep track of, wouldn't it, Matt?
Well, certainly looking for many opportunities to beef up the record books. Why not? We get all kinds of requests. However, if she just keeps on striking, 8:59 is a pretty solid score.
It's not bad.
So we'll take a look at Jennifer, and we'll get ready to look at the scoreboard here in just a minute.
And how about that? The Vera Papa 300, Jennifer Aspin.
All right, there's a look up top.
Jennifer's out of Oakley, California.
We don't want to miss Lucy. So here we go, back to the action. Lucy looking for her first strike here in game number 2.
This also looks like a different ball. Definitely seen some equipment changes from almost everybody here. Trying to find that right look to carry. That seems to be one of the bigger challenges this year. Is it seems like folks are finding the pocket on a fairly consistent basis, but getting all 10 down is a tad trickier.
So we're trying to guess from here what ball Jennifer Aspin is throwing, and she's wearing a Storm logo on the front of her jersey, which leads me to believe it could be a Defiant Edge. But it also looks like an Ebonite champion, so hard to tell from here. But either way, it looks great going through the pins, knocking them all down, which is the goal no matter what it is.
Yeah, from our vantage point here, it's I just say we're about 20 feet away, give or take. Yeah, whatever it is, it's striking for days, so.
There's a very talented crew of folks lining up here. Hank Boomershine, Lindsay Boomershine, they're all checking out the action here. They're going to be bowling nearby on the doubles and singles squad coming up next here on Bowl TV. No doubt they're watching Jennifer Aspin right now. Started with a 4-bagger here. She is just non-stop strikes so far. 259 in game number 1. And just a reminder, folks in the chat room, please keep it clean. Just had one bowler who will not be joining us for the rest of the day. Got a little respect for all of our bowlers. They're working hard out there. I want to send a big shout out to April Ellis and Billy Murphy, tying the knot today in Wichita. April used to work with us at USBC, talented collegiate player before that. Billy Murphy, his brother Chad, heads things up in the youth area at the International Bowling Campus. So a lot of USBC folks headed to Wichita. Safe travels, of course, and enjoy the day. Congrats to the newlyweds.
Congrats indeed, and best of luck down the road. It's awesome.
Dana Miller-Mackey lined up here in game 2. Started with a strike. I believe it was a week 7 in frame number 2.
Flat 7.
Followed by 3 in a row. So she is lined up and she's on her own, so nobody's getting in her way.
Dana's using the another ball we've seen out here a lot, the gold IQ Tour Pearl. If every ball was that recognizable, we could get you these answers a little bit quicker.
Lenahan looking for 4 in a row after the open. Goes light. Lucky to leave just the 2 and the 8. Hardiman's going to step up on the left. 2 opens on this left lane here in game 2. 2 strikes on the right. See if she can make the correct adjustment. Of course, that's always the goal.
Now that looks like an Ebonite champion.
That is the champion, without a doubt. Ebonite on the front of her jersey. A little bit of surface on that ball, looks like, from here.
It looked pretty gritty.
But it worked. So there's a double for her. She's locked in on the left lane now.
And on 27, the Jennifer Asplin show continues.
And the run comes to an end at about 1,000 in a row with the 10 pin.
It's definitely been more than an hour. It has to be.
Well, if this was the craps table, this would be a story of legend for Jeff Riggles and crew.
I'm sure the Sands is missing them already.
It's a heck of a start towards all events as well. 259, front 5, front 4, sorry, here in game 2. That was a good shot. So there's going to be a transition point, of course, where perhaps the balls they started with not going to make the turn. So handful of them already working through some ball changes and some moves. You've got your invisible opponent in the oil. Moves around with every shot you throw, so you always got to be on top of that for sure.
And the Women's Championships is using a new Kegel oil this year as well, the fire. And we have the ice over at the Open Championships.
Great shot from Lucy for her first strike here in game number 2. We'll take a look at Christina Kinney, and then we'll look at the scoreboard. We're halfway through. Great shot there from Kinney. These are some names we've said and written a whole lot in our careers here at the Open and Women's Championships. And there's the scoreboard through 5. While we were looking at the scoreboard, Dana Miller-Mackey with another 7-pin. Kayla Jones up on the right. She goes light as well. So we saw this happen a little bit during our Eagles Edge Pro Shot broadcast the other day. It got to a point where the oil started to carry down a little bit. The balls just stopped hooking on the back end. So it was time to make some moves. Of course, the Eagles Edge team members were able to do so.
As they shot the lights out?
Because they shot the lights out. Literally, we had a 15-minute power outage during their 3rd game. It didn't stop them at all, though. I don't think that had any...
I think there might have been one missed 10-pin in there. I think that was the lone real giveaway, I guess. There might have been a split or two, but yeah, they jumped right back on it.
Every other sport, you know, you got halftime, or, you know, you get to break in between periods, or... or the 7th inning stretch, so, you know, take a break. Take a break, get to regroup, get out there, and they got a couple of practice shots that day, so they got to stay ready. And it paid off with the 2nd highest score in tournament history, 33-57, now on top of the scratch standings, and 34-51, the number they're chasing here in Diamond Team. So good start for these two teams, Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy in game 1, 10:59 and 10:45. We do not have a halftime planned for today.
Hopefully not.
No festivities, but we've seen it before here. We had a scoring outage earlier in the tournament, and I believe they were doing the Macarena and the hamster dance and the boot scoot boogie and whatever else they can think of out there on the approaches to just to pass the time a little bit.
I've never heard of the hamster dance, Matt. Is that I'm not even sure where to go with that. But
must be a Florida thing.
It must be. You'll have to bust that out someday.
It's a great shot there from Hardiman, back on track with 3 in a row. So
now we've done some reconnaissance. We sent manager on duty here, Andy Zumalt, to take a gander at some of the equipment down there, see if he can let us know what Jennifer has been throwing to her strike for the past hour and a half. So he'll get back to us after this shot, hopefully. Maybe. Gives a look back to the booth.
And he does get distracted pretty easily, so he might just spend the rest of the afternoon down there watching bowling and talking. And
well, he's a left-hander like you, Matt. So
I understand. Short attention span. Great shot there from Asplin, back on track after the week 10, the flat dime. It almost would be.
It almost looks like a storm invasion, perhaps. It definitely had the lightning bolt on it, so. We'll see as Andy relays the message here shortly. Storm Dimension, going back even a little further.
An oldie but a goodie.
Very much so. I should have recognized that. I had one of those back in the day. And gave it away to my good friend Tom Zeller. Apparently I should have kept it because Jennifer Asplin is making it look easy out there with that particular rock in hand.
Danny Miller-Mackey with another 7-pin. It's 2 in a row. Christina Kinney never doubt for a 3-bagger.
Dana's thrown it very well. Just a matter of carry at this point.
Seven-pin, no problem for the Hall of Famer. Here's a look up top.
The 7th frame.
Not a lot of strikes in frame number 6. A lot of work to do in the second half of this team event.
Yeah, these ladies have been all around the pocket. Just carry has been the challenge here today. There's a great shot by Janelle that just won't cooperate. A lot of corners.
Well, Aaron, this station identification brought to you by Snapple.
Diet Snapple, it appears.
Well, I gotta watch my figure here, but the fact of the day, most lipstick contains fish scales. There you have it. The Snapple fact of the day.
How about that? Brought to you free of charge by Bull TV. Maybe we need that for every live stream from here on out.
An unofficial brought to you by?
Unofficial fact of the day brought to you by Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith.
We get all kinds of facts.
Once again, thanks to our good friend Andy Zumwalt, also out of Albuquerque, so definitely has a vested interest in watching some friends from back home.
Aaron, I'll tell you what, that was a fun name to spell for 150 days in 2008.
I think I finally figured it out now.
Well, I think Laura Hardiman figured it out as well. Working on 3 in a row, looking for 4 here. Up on the left lane, she struggled on this lane early, but threw a great shot last time.
She continues.
There's another one, never in doubt. Appreciate everybody stopping by today. Big crowd in person and online. Pretty awesome Saturday afternoon outside.
Probably.
We're live at the 2013 USBC Women's Championships.
It was very nice this morning coming into work, though, so I assume it's fantastic outside right now. Really can't complain about the weather we've seen so far.
I believe there's a basketball tournament going on right behind us, literally behind this air wall. The convention center has many different areas and none going to waste, so big basketball event. A couple weeks ago it was volleyball. At one point a gun show even. So you never know what you're going to find. And I think they're surprised when they walk in and see 44 bowling lanes. At one point, this was just an empty convention center, as Aaron mentioned earlier. Concrete floors, 35 or so truckloads of stuff brought in. Organized. We got 44 championship lanes, the world's largest mobile scoreboard. Trillions and trillions of colors. I didn't even know there were that many colors, but we've got them all here at the Women's Championships.
It is pretty cool watching what the capabilities of it during the march out, and they have a certain thing for when the oiling's going on that just kind of goes through logos and other random stuff. And yeah, it's pretty nifty to say the least. Even on our end pairs, we have bowl.com and the USBC logo, and just look like high definition from here. So.
Well, this is the world's largest participatory sporting event for women, and it's the biggest stage in women's bowling for sure. Certainly got a championship feel here. Championship banners hanging from the ceiling now. The American flag, front and center. This is Memorial Day weekend. So shout out and our greatest appreciation to all of those who have served to help protect our country and given us the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your service. Got a chance to talk to a few folks at the Open not too long ago on Armed Forces Day. 9 out of the 10 bowlers were retired Air Force, or retired from the Air Force, with, I believe, more than 230 years served. One of those gentlemen, Paul Rumba, and actually ended up shooting 300 during this team event, so very cool way to celebrate that day, and meant a lot to him and certainly his teammates as well. There's a nice shot by Jelzy. She's clean so far through 8 after a 236 start. No doubles this game, though. That's talking a little bit about carry over here. It's been the biggest challenge outside of a few light shots here and there. Jennifer Ashland even went light on her last shot, left another 210. I think Paula could run for mayor at any town the bowling tournament's in. We just have people walking by, and she's walking up, hugging all of them, knows all of them.
Well, Paula, the director of bowling for EFX. I got my EFX bracelet on right now, courtesy of Paula Vidad.
Superman,
my hero. I believe Paula also had a big hand in the WBA, the Women's Bowling Alliance. Had some events across the country in the past year or so. Doing everything she can for women's bowling. Lucy Sandelin, of course, behind the scenes in the coaching aspect, the World Cup Bowling Academy. So everybody doing their part. Aaron Lenahan marketing specialist and co-founder of the Women's Bowling Alliance. Find that at womensbowlingalliance.com. So trying to give the women more to bowl in besides the USBC Queens, Women's Championships, US Women's Open, Team USA Trials, all kinds of great events, but the more the merrier, of course.
Absolutely. Kenny's string of strikes ends at 4 after another 10 pin. There's a lot of corners here on 27 and 8 today. Just not having the carry cooperate. Janelle Jelzy. Dead flush 7 pin. And according to Facebook here, apparently our good friend Lucas Wiseman officially in Reno.
Look out. I'm sure he'll be possibly headed this way. Probably not. He's here on official bowling business, not work business. Business. He's here chasing some big numbers at the Open Championships.
By everybody else. The media department title is yours to lose, Lucas. No pressure.
Appreciate everybody stopping by the chat room today. Some knowledgeable folks in there, inquisitive as well.
So we're in the 9th frame here, Matt, and just looks like scoring pace has slowed down a bit here. A few strikes here and there, but outside a few strings earlier in the game, outside of Laura right now, it's been a lot of grinding out, a lot of corner pins, a lot of light hits. So we're kind of seeing a continuing trend here during our team events, at least.
Well, what do you say we send you down there after game 2 and maybe get a couple words in, find out what's happening out there on the lanes, and what it's going to take to get lined up and finish strong in game 3.
I think we can handle that.
Hardiman delivers for 6 in a row here, so no problem for her getting lined up. Paula gets it wide to the right. Need to respot that 7-pin, I believe. She left the... Maybe not. Hard to tell from here. So she's gonna shoot at the 2-pin. She's clean through 8.
And Lucy sets up the 9th with a 3-bagger for the team and herself. So
take a look up top here in just a second. We'll let Christina Kinney try to get it done on the right lane.
Both teams fairly close again in score.
Kinney with the 10-pin. So good opportunity to look at the scores here heading into the 10th. Dana Miller-Mackey up on the left. She goes really light.
She's actually left at the last 2 shots.
So here we are. Just in time to see Kinney take care of that 10-pin.
The 3-5-6-10.
Dana's looking at a tough spare here.
She converted
Tough,
it last time.
tough for me, easy for her. That's why she's the Hall of Famer and I'm wearing a tie sitting behind the camera. Stays with her strike ball and picks it up, no problem. So she's gonna go to the bag, it looks like, for her fill ball. She's getting a little too much length out of that Tour IQ Pearl gold deal.
Gold deal.
It's like a motive ball coming out of the bag and going back in.
No, maybe not. Storm Sink. Final choice. Yes, the motive ball was kind of blue and black. Couldn't quite grab a logo there, but Storm Sink is pretty recognizable. Jones cleans up the 4-7 on 28.
All right, so 10th frame underway. We'll send Aaron down in a minute to get a few thoughts, possibly from Paula. See what's happening out there on the lanes.
2-13 for Miller-Mackey to finish off game 2.
We'll have our game 3 station identification for the big finale. If you're just joining us, this is a team event. USBC Women's Championships. Lucy Sandelin, Paula Vidad, and their cast of talented characters. Part of a live stream doubleheader from the Women's Championships today. Action still going on all day at the Open Championships. You can find that on xbowling.com. We also have webcams at both events now. Live video action from both tournaments, as well as a point-and-click camera at the Open Championships, so you won't miss a minute of the action, even if we're not on the air.
But since we are, you folks get to enjoy the smooth and relaxing tones of Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith for the next 5 hours or so. I don't even know what time it is. We're going to be here for a while. We'll call it 5 hours. A clean 194 for Janelle Jelzy. Score did not reflect how well she threw the ball that game. She was all over the pocket, just could not get all 10 pins to fall. Halog finishes 182 for World Cup Bowling Academy, as Lenahan and Hardiman step up on the left and right lanes, respectively.
Hardiman working on 6 in a row here. Pair opens this game. Looks like she got that one in a little bit. Leaves the 6-10. Hardiman with 7 strikes and 3 opens here in game 2 for 213. The struggles continue to carry down the transition here. There's fire, oil. Holds up longer than oils of the past here at the Women's Championships. Fire hooks a little bit more than the ice being used at the Open Championships, but certainly slicker than what they're used to.
Asplin catches a nice break, getting the 2-pin out of that. Nice break for Paula there. Getting the 4-pin to fall late.
There's a miscue by Asplin. Missed the 10-pin by quite a bit. She'll finish with 214. So a lot of strikes on the board again in game 2, but 2 opens leaves her with 214. Vidad gets 9 on her second shot. She's already over 200 as well. Lucy with a big shot for 4-bagger. First half of this game did not go so well for the Hall of Famer, but back on track in the back half. Aaron Smith getting the wireless ready.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
All set.
How about that?
It is Aaron Emil Williams Jr. Smith throwing the how about that at you. Lucy Sandelin throwing the 5-bagger. Paula Vidad finishes with 205. Lenahan 182. Chelsea 194. Dana Miller Mackey clean 213. For World Cup Bowling Academy, Carol Jones 178. Zan Halag 182. Hardiman opens in the 10th 213. Asplin also with an open frame 214. And Sandelin finishes strong. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. 211 after a bit of a struggle to start game 2. So there it is. 1059, 980 for Team EFX, plus 39 after 2. World Cup Bowling Academy, 1045, 998, plus 43. So both teams.
Slow your roll there a little bit, man. Christina Kinney still needs to bowl her 10th frame.
Holy cow. Well, yeah, I'm already working on next year with the 4-player teams.
Apparently so.
Man, all right. Well, let's get back to Christina Kinney. Don't want to leave her out. How about that? I'm a year ahead of schedule. I'm never early for anything. Sorry about that, Christina Kinney.
Spare here in the 10th will get them into the plus. And now she just needs to stay behind the line, so. And Kinney is in the 2 teens with relatively decent count here.
Aaron said, slow your roll, Mr. Canizaro. We are not done yet. It is not over. Was that the 2008 Queens when they accidentally called it and it was not mathematically over?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, big uh-oh. Uh-oh here. Christina Kinney's going to step up and throw the real final shot of game number 2 here.
Then I will roll on down to lanes 27 and 8.
There it is. Great shot from Kinney. Now let's take a look at the scoreboard. Game 2 really over now. 1,009 for Team EFX, 2068. And World Cup Bowling Academy at 2043 after 2. It's going to take a lot of work here. We'll see how things unfold in Game 3. Aaron's going to head down to the lanes. Maybe get a few thoughts. As we get back to the action, Carol Jones is going to step up here first. Dana Miller Mackey up on the left. She made a ball change in the 10th frame. She's going to stick with it. Carol Jones with the 7-pin. Dana staying with that storm sink. Got that one a little bit right, but trips the 6.
All right, man, I'm going to interject. Paula's walking over. Paula, tell us a little bit about what your girls are seeing out there. Carrie's been a little tough. Just what's the plan for Game 3?
Well, we're all going to move a little bit in right around 12 to 14. I think we were playing too far right and a little OB every time we missed a little bit right. So I think Laura Hardiman kind of burned us a spot using her duller ball. So I think we're all going to move in there. And Christina Kinney moved to a more aggressive, lucid ball, too. So I think we're going to maybe hopefully strike a little bit more this game.
Yeah, it's certainly you've gone on a few streaks of strikes there, but it's been hard to get the corners out, and seems like every once in a while kind of getting one past the break point. So, any other insight for this last game you'd like to share with everyone watching on Bowl TV?
Yeah, well, it was a little difficult because I think we were all starting off with the wrong ball kind of syndrome, and then now it's coming to us, and then now we need to go back to the ball we actually tried to start with. So we kind of got a little bit faked out. We thought we'd have a little bit more room to the right, and it wasn't there. So actually, I had a little bit better luck over at the shot at the open. I think I had a better look over there, and we're thinking that we had a little bit more wider open shot here, and we started, I think, a little too tight. So we'll hopefully try to open them up this game.
All right, best of luck out there. All right, Matt, back to you.
And there you have it. Words of wisdom from Paula Vidad. And I think what she described there, Aaron, was the new Fire Oil. A little bit slicker than they might be used to just looking at the pattern. Last year, I believe it was the Kegel Infinity that we were using. And this year, designed to hold up a little bit longer. And it certainly appears to be doing that. So it sounds like they communicated, they have the right ideas. And we're going to see some more strikes, hopefully, here from them in game number 3. So far, 1 out of 4. But they're all making the moves, and we'll see how it goes.
That's right.
Dynamite drop in there, Mr. Smith.
You set them up, I knock them down. Unless we're actually bowling.
Yeah, and then not too many get knocked down. Hardiman, you heard Vidad talk about Hardiman and her Ebonite champion with a little bit of surface on it. Burned a spot for them so they can all move a little bit left and maybe have some room out there. Paula, however, goes light. Leaves the 2-4-5. Hardiman went high. And lefty 3-6, 9-10. So we'll see if their strategy works. We're still just early here. First frame, game number 3. While we have a moment, we'll have a station identification. Big doubleheader coming up here. Lindsay Boomershine in the building, getting ready to put her titles on the line. I have not seen Alicia Curran, but I am sure she's not far behind. So we'll have that for you next here on Bowl TV. That's going to be 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. or so Eastern, right after this team event. Don't go anywhere.
All right. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro coming to you live here from the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Matt, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
Perfectly fine. Matt's going to go out for a little bit. He actually found Alicia Curran, so Matt's going to get a few words from the defending doubles champion as she prepares for her doubles and singles a little bit later on tonight.
All right. With Alicia Curran, and you're out here watching this team event, trying to get an idea what's going to happen here next 2 p.m. You guys will be out there, 2 doubles titles on the line. How are you feeling right now? What are you thinking, and what's the preparation been like heading into today?
Preparation for sure has just been practicing a lot at home for myself, getting back into bowling and everything after coaching. What we see here on the lane, we're seeing that it could hold up for us really good. We're seeing a lot of lefties and backup balls on our lane that we get to go to, so it'll keep our side a little bit more fresh and a little bit more tamed for us to last the first 3 games for doubles. And I think Lindsay and I, we're going for it. So, I mean, I don't see any bad or negativity going into this at all. We just hope that we do the same thing as we did last year, and I think we'd be fine.
All right, now everything came together for you guys last year, the 2 titles, big numbers. Lindsay went on to win all events as well. But what's the last year been like? I know the wait until we talked to you guys in July, but what's it been like as the champions, being out back in the bowling world, and then having to get ready to come and put not just 1, but 2 titles and 3 for her on the line?
For me, and I think for her as well, it's not anything any different. We're just going in like it's a fresh event like it is, and just going out and bowling and doing what we love and putting on a show and hopefully coming out with the best result that we came here for.
All right, there you have it. Alicia Curran, half of the defending Diamond and Scratch doubles champions. We'll have them on after this, tonight's 2 p.m. doubles and singles squad. So best of luck to you guys, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you.
Back to you, Aaron.
All right, thanks, Matt. Always good catching up with folks before they hit the lanes.
All right, awesome to have the opportunity to walk around the venue and talk to some great players, and I know we'll have some players available after. Hank Boomershine, Lindsay's husband, in the building as well, so we'll get some thoughts from him hopefully as the doubles event progresses. We're looking forward to an exciting afternoon and a big finish here from Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy as we get settled in for a big afternoon of live stream here at the USBC Women's Championships.
Once again, Alicia Curran, 691 in team event yesterday. Lindsay Boomershine, 703. So it's off to a great start here in their 2013 event before they put up their titles. Alicia mentioned coaching. She's actually the head coach at Delaware State University, the head bowling coach at the NCAA program. So wish her the best of luck the upcoming season.
Hopefully all those players will be tuning in as well to watch their coach try to get it done here at the Women's Championships. Maybe inspire them a little bit to come out and join us at some point as well once they are eligible after their collegiate careers have ended, of course. And Alicia, no slouch in college either. A standout at Farley Dickinson and then Wichita State. So she's seen quite a bit of success in her days. She also finished second at the USBC Queens in 2011. We'll have all that and much more later, of course. But this event, all about, again, as we keep selling it, the timeless and classic styles of Paula Vidad, Lucy Sandelin, Dana Miller-Mackey.
Yeah, both squads do have to strike a lot to get to the leading totals. 1289 for Team EFX. There we go. If they wanted to catch the 3357, at 1289 would be a record. World Cup Bowling Academy, even a little further back, 1314. So for World Cup Bowling Academy, they already have 4 opens here in the early going. So they're going to need to put on their striking shoes to get there. one open early for Team EFX with Dana Miller-Mackey and Aaron Lenahan both starting off with 3-baggers. As well as Jennifer Asplin for World Cup Bowling Academy.
So it's official, folks. Lucas Wiseman has entered the National Bowling Stadium. I got word that he's already hit the token stash, so he is ready for tonight's team event.
We'll be getting back to the National Bowling just in time to see Lucas finish up in team. And then put those tokens to use.
All right, so things falling into place for Dana Miller-Mackey here in Game 3. The ball changed to the Storm Sink, a good one on her field ball. She was around the pocket most of the first 2 games. Left a lot of 7 pins, started going really light there towards the end of the game. Made the right move, starts this game with 4 in a row to pace her team. Erin Lenahan also with a 3-bagger, stepping up on the right, trying to make it 4 in a row for herself. Seems like each game, somebody really stepping out with the big numbers. Last game, Laura Hardiman put together quite a few strikes. Opened in the 10th for 2-teen, but certainly was on her way. Struggling here in Game 3. Jennifer Asplin started with 259, and then started Game 2 with 4 in a row before things went a little bit downhill. But she's back on track here with 3 in a row to start Game 3.
Jennifer finished Game 2 with 214. She has 473 at the turn.
She's still throwing that same ball and leaves the 10 pin there on the left lane. It seems like the left lane might be a little bit tighter here. Seeing some more flat 10s and buckets in different combinations. But it sounded like from talking to Paula that maybe they didn't start with enough surface in game number 1. Underestimated how slick this oil is here at the Women's Championships, and got a little bit of an inconsistent reaction, a little bit too much skid there. You live and you learn.
Very true, very true. It's as we mentioned, and as Paula said as well, they were already at the Open, so they had their expectations kind of knowing that the Women's Championships pattern is a not sport compliant, but still challenging nonetheless. But they might have overplayed their hand a little bit. When you throw shots like that, everything's all right.
Well, Aaron, we talk about it at the Open Championships, and it shouldn't be any less important here at the Women's, of course. Team play, communication, strategy. When you go out there with a game plan, you know, it's a little bit more in play at the Open Championships on the sport pattern, a little less room for error. But you want to get out there and have an idea, and we've seen a number of different game plans on our broadcast from the Open Championships. Some teams like to start further right with a little bit of surface and break the lane down, create some area. Some teams will start out there with a lot of surface, and we've seen all different strategies work. And then we saw Chris Johnson and Jeff Carter and them get in a little bit with some plastic balls to push oil down the lane, create some hold in the middle, and you know, that paid off for them. They had a nice performance. So I think the key isn't exactly what your strategy is, but it's that, well, A, that you have one, and B, that you give it a chance, you stick with it, and you see it through. A lot of the great teams will tell you, you know, maybe you have to grind it out a little bit before things become clear and open up, and the less experienced teams might jump ship earlier, and it might hurt you in the long run. But the experience will tell you to stick with it. But obviously there comes a point where, you know, it's either jump ship and make a big move, or stick with it and pay the benefits later. But sometimes you just know.
Very true, and it's it's all about different strategies and trying different things out. And I was going to say, you mentioned the using the plastic ball in team event. Chris Johnson, Jeff Carter and company. I know our good friend Jeff Riggles, his group in doubles and singles, employed that strategy, and Mike Shady nearly took advantage of that all the way to the regular singles lead at the Open. And after talking to a few folks last night from back home, actually, Calumet College head coach Mike Kubacki was kind of asking me about strategy and game plans and stuff like that. And I mentioned about how Riggles' crew threw the plastic balls during their practice in doubles and singles. They ended up employing that for a little bit, and they ended up having a pretty nice look. Didn't get quite as high as Shady's scores, but a lot of decent 600s on their pair. And
well, I forgot to tell you also the other day after they got done bowling, we did see them over at the Little Nugget enjoying some awful burgers. And of course we know that's where I shine, is at the table. And they didn't come over and ask for any tips or anything, but certainly enjoying what Reno has to offer and the delicious things available within walking distance of the National Bowling Stadium for sure.
I really don't think you need any insight knocking out an awful though.
Well, I've seen some folks struggle. The enormity, the best $7 you can spend, I would think, within walking distance of the NBS, and a must-have.
There's a new challenge in town though that there's a victorious fist pump by Matt Cannizzaro, if you folks could only see back home. Over at Brew Brothers, over at that's Silver Legacy. Eldorado? Are you sure?
I am 100% positive. One of the many restaurants available at the Tribe properties, Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus. And they're very welcoming of the bowlers. Glad to have everybody in town. A lot of great deals. Brew Brothers, a quick lunch stop for us often. 2-for-1 pizzas during happy hour. Certainly, when you're in town, stop by and enjoy any of the things available at those three establishments for sure. And now back to your regularly scheduled Aaron Smith recollection.
You want me to regale the folks with your victorious eating conquest?
Well, I don't throw 5-baggers like Dan and Miller Mackey, so it's one of my proudest moments, I think, of the year so far.
That's what you hang your hat on?
So far. There's a great shot from Christina Kinney. So 5 for 5 for Team EFX in the 5th frame. I think in some bowling centers, that's worth a pizza. I know it wasn't our sport league back in Milwaukee, but no pizza here at the Women's Championships, unfortunately.
We could use some at some point today.
So there's a look at the scoreboard right now. 5 in a row for Dan and Miller Mackey. 5 in a row for Christina Kinney and crew. Their Team EFX, 10:59, 10:09.
Actually, going to need a lot of strikes to get to that 33-57, but this is this is the way to get there. It's all a matter of keeping it up now, though. That's going to be the trick. They made the moves. They kind of figured out what was going on out there, and the strikes. There we go. It's going to be a long day, Matt. Have started to add up. Just saw one of our lane monitors, Jim Stark, walk by. So,
any relation to Tony Stark?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, that would be cool to have a celebrity in the house. How'd you like to be bowling the women's championships and Iron Man stops by? They'll just have to settle for us. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live here at the USBC Women's Championships, bringing the 11 a.m. team event, followed by Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Current bowling doubles and singles.
But right now we have Dana Miller-Mackey, USBC Hall of Famer, stepping up on 28. The 6-pin does not fall for the Hall of Famer.
Once again, folks, if you don't want to miss any of our live stream broadcasts, you can find us on youtube.com/BowlTV. Remember to subscribe to our page, and you'll get all the alerts and updates when another great video or live stream broadcast is available. Don't want you to miss any of the action from the Open and Women's Championships for sure. We've got a few broadcasts coming up the rest of the year. You can find that schedule on bowl.com on your right side of your screen, live stream, or bowl.com/live stream. It's all there for you.
It's hard to believe we're coming up on the final few weeks here, both events. Probably less than 6 at this point.
Yep, Open Championships kicked off March 1st. Will conclude July 7th after just under 5,000, I believe is the number, at the Women's Championships.
A nice shot by Lenahan there. She's got 5 out of 6 right now. Great shot by Paula there. They're not going down without a fight here, Matt.
Well, they talked about their game plan going into Game 3, changing equipment and utilizing their strategy the first 2 games, which may have not been the best to start, but it's certainly paying its benefits here in Game 3. A lot of strikes on the board for Team EFX. See if Christina Kinney can make it one more. 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10 for her team, as she leaves the flat dime there on 28.
It's back-to-back 10 pins on 28 for Kinney.
So before Dana Miller-Mackey steps up, here's a look at the scoreboard. As you see, 1 hole so far. A lot of strikes. 10:59, 10:09. Chasing some big numbers though. Back to it. Hall of Famer, left-hander. 7 cooperates. She's back on it. As we speak, I'm also working on some news from the USBC Open Championships. Andrew Colon of Zephyr Hills, Florida, didn't win the lottery. Powerball ticket sold in Zephyr Hills. Didn't go to him, but he got something even better. a 300 game at the USBC Open Championships, and Brian Waugh of Glendale, Arizona followed suit earlier today. So congratulations to those gentlemen on their perfect games at the Open Championships.
Number 22 and 23 of the year. Three in a row for Lenahan. We're halfway through the 7th frame, and this might get a little interesting here. See if Paula can make it 4 in a row for herself.
So the strikes continue to add up for Team EFX. See if Lucy Sandelin can double up here for World Cup Bowling Academy. She goes light, leaves the 2-4-5. Great big max score out there for Team EFX. We saw the 3rd highest team game in history just a few days ago, 12:07 by Eagles Edge Pro Shop on the way into the scratch team lead, 33:57, the 2nd highest score in 94 years of women's championships competition. It just, I don't know, 33:57, it's certainly a big number, but
oh, we've been spoiled at the Open with a lot of big numbers in the team event, and
some record scores in team competition this year at the Open Championships, 13 3400s. So we'll see Hall of Famer Dana Miller-Mackey up on lane 28. So far, 6 out of 7. Looking for a double here.
Nice shot by the Hall of Famer. She had 418 at the turn with games of 205 and 213. Big out here would get her right around that 700 number.
And we got to see Dana Miller-Mackey finish second at the Senior Queens in Arlington, Texas. Very cool opportunity for the senior ladies to bowl at the ITRC, the International Training and Research Center. They're part of the International Bowling Campus, a one-of-a-kind facility in Texas, the home of Team USA. And the ladies were invited in for the Senior Queens to have their qualifying and match play, and then our Bowl TV televised finals right from the ITRC. They're headed back there. I believe it's in October this year. Looking forward to having them back our way. Paula and Lucy there as well. Carol Jones also bowled in that event. The regular Queens will be held over Labor Day weekend at Sunset Station in Las Vegas. So if you're a top competitor interested in coming to join us for that event, it's going to be an exciting one. It'll come just after the World Championships. So it'll be some talented international players sticking around to compete in that. Here's Lenahan getting ready to step up on the right. She also has struck in 6 of 7 frames, looking for 4 in a row. Mixes them up. 5-pin goes down, and there it is. A 4-bagger or back-to-back doubles for Lenahan.
She was also at 418 after 2 with games of 236 and 182. And just to not feel left out, Christina Kinney, 418 after 2. So 3 members of Team EFX averaging 209 through 2. Jennifer Asplin striking at will again. She's still got 750 out there. Should be a huge start towards grabbing that all events lead once again.
Well, not if Lindsay Boomershine has anything to say about it coming up next. Started with 7-0 in team yesterday. Certainly going to make a run at it. You heard Alicia Curran earlier. They've been watching their pair of lanes, 29 and 30. Happens to be next door, so it makes the move easier for us. We'll just head one pair to the right. Do not get fresh oil for every squad here at the Women's Championships, however, so they were scoping out their pair to see who they're going to follow.
Following ladies on the lanes 1 and 2.
So they felt good about their look and their game plan, so looking forward to seeing that coming up next. Look up top, we're getting ready for the 9th frame, the foundation being set here. Dana Miller-Mackey on a roll here. She's gonna step up on lane 27. These ladies will be back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. bright and early. Squad times at the Women's Championships.
Start at 7 a.m. with the doubles and singles, followed by the 11 a.m. team squad, which we are currently at the end of, followed by a 2 p.m. doubles and singles. We'll re-oil for the 6 o'clock team squad. And we wrap up the day with the 9 o'clock doubles and singles. So 2 team events, 3 doubles and singles. That's how we do it over here, Matt.
Certainly some long days and bowling action almost around the clock. That's how you get more than 22,000 bowlers through in 81 days. Non-stop excitement here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Matt Kinizar and Aaron Smith live at the 2013 Women's Championships.
Although these ladies are putting up a very nice Game 3 score for Team EFX, they seem to be, by our mathematically eliminated from taking over either the scratch or diamond team lead at this point. So it's all about getting as many pins as you can, get as high up in the standings as you can, and get ready for tomorrow. Doubles and singles and all events still awaits.
There's always tomorrow, there's always next year. The schedule for these 2 events, the Open and Women's Championships, is set for the next decade plus. The 2014 Women's Championships will be right back here at the Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Then we'll head across town to the National Bowling Stadium in 2015. Then a little bit of excitement as a new deal has been struck with Las Vegas. Women's Championships headed to South Point in Las Vegas in 2016. Brand new $30 million facility. Las Vegas' own bowling arena. And in 2017, the women headed to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge River Center. 2018, back to Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. 2019,
Wichita, Kansas for the 100th running of the WC. And in that fashion, we're going to be going to let the convention center setting wait for a few years for 2021 as we go back to traditional bowling centers, back to 2 houses to celebrate the 100th anniversary. We're in 10th frame action now, Matt.
well, while we have a chance here, we'll let Christina Kinney throw this shot, then we'll take a look at the scoreboard here to start of frame number 10. Dana Miller-Mackey already with a strike on the board. She's not wasting any time. She's got the momentum, why not? Here you go. That's what it looks like. So a solid day, solid game here, just 1 hole. That was in the first frame by Paula Vidad. Clean the rest of the way. That's what you like to see. A lot of strikes and some bears up there. So here's Dana Miller-Mackey, Albuquerque.
And that'll get her into the 250s. She's looking about solid 670s. kick off her 2013 campaign. As Kinney tries to clean up the 2-5. And she does. How about that? .256 for Miller Mackey. Give her 674, just under 225. As Carol Jones steps up on 27. And Jelzy converts the washout there. She stayed clean the past 2 games. She might be clean for the day. I'm not 100% sure. She shot 236 in the opener. Was clean last game for 194, and with 9 or better, she'll be at 200 plus. Grinding it out here at the Women's Championships. The fill ball always falls when you have that kind of day. 201 and 631 for Jelzy.
All right, as soon as we're done here, just a few more minutes, we're going to switch gears and head over to lanes 29 and 30. We'll shift everything around and we'll be back with you. So don't think we were done for the day. We're just going to shut things down, bring it back up in just a couple minutes, so don't go anywhere. And don't miss this exciting conclusion here for Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy. Paula Vidad trying to grab a few extra sticks for her Team EFX. Working on 3 in a row, trying to make it 4. Yikes, leaves the 4, 6, 7. She's in the 220s.
This group will be in the 1100s though, so they kind of went back and forth today. And we kind of heard that from Paula when we spoke to her before Game 3 started. .222.
We'll have the rundown of the leaderboards for you in just a few minutes when we get underway. One pair to the right. A lot of folks obviously are going to be wondering who's leading all events. We'll have all that for you and more as Lindsey Boomerstein and Alicia Current put their 3 titles on the line here at the Women's Championships.
Asplin left a 10-pin there, still at 279, stepping up in the 10th. I'll drop her down into the 250s with a conversion, and a 4-9 for Kinney. Her first shot there, rough break. Lane 28. Some of the next squad is already marching for the 2 p.m., so. So they get ready to hit the lanes. We'll be maneuvering as well as Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy finish it up. We'll get everything situated for Lindsey Boomershine and Alicia Current as they put their titles up on the line.
So Aaron, looks like we're going to have to be in hustle mode as soon as this team event wraps up, but don't worry, I won't turn things off early. Christina Kinney is done. 11:08, Game 3 for Team EFX. 31-76. Scratch, the final number. Well short of the scratch lead, 33-57. Jennifer Asplin, bookend 250s here.
7:31. She'll have her work cut out for her tomorrow. As Lucy finishes up for World Cup Bowling Academy. Trying to get to 3,000. It's still out there.
If you missed any of today's broadcast, you can find the archived version later today at youtube.com/bowltv. That and all of our archived broadcasts from the past. Well, I guess that's what archived means, but I was going to say from the 2013 Open and Women's Championships, but plenty more on there. Also, great videos from Matt Lawson at USBC, so check that out. youtube.com/bowltv.
And Matt, right in front of us, cameras probably can't catch it, but it's pretty cool. A few ladies coming over to the pair, getting their shirts signed by members from both Team EFX and World Cup Bowling Academy, appreciating the performance they put on today as Lucy finishes up with 185 to help her team to a 974 final game and 3,017 total.
And there you have it, 31-76 and 30-17. That's going to do it for today's team event here. Paula Vidad, Lucy Sandelin, Dana Miller-Mackey, and company. Getting it done here at the Women's Championships. We had a great event. We're going to sign off now. We'll be back with our next broadcast in just a few moments. Lindsey Boomerstein and Alicia Current put their titles on the line. Thanks for joining us. That's the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.